It's time now for Upon Further Review, brought to you by Ogeechee Technical College, Education with Purpose, and by Dr. Lincoln Lippincott with the Sleep Apnea Center in Statesboro. And now, here they are, Josh Aubrey and Nate Hirsch.
And we're happy to welcome you back into Upon Further Review, along with Josh, part of the Statesboro Herald's online team. This is Nate. We're up top of ERA, Hirsch Real Estate Team, buying or selling real estate here in the new year. Talk to the folks. They're downstairs at ERA, Hirsch Real Estate Team. Well, we really weren't going to do another show till after the football national championship game on Monday night, but since things keep percolating at Georgia Southern, and I wanted Josh to have the opportunity to get a nice one-on-one with our new head football coach, Tyson Summers, since they told us I would get a chance to get a one-on-one back in December 26th, but instead I had to do the group interview with everybody. So you did get a chance. That is coming up on the show today, where you try to cover, and I give you credit again, you do get as many questions in as you possibly can.
I try my best. I feel like I've had, some coaches that come before that have helped me, like, say, a Paul Johnson. Make sure you get some good questions in, because if not, you're going to be called an idiot. So you want to make sure you get good questions, and then had other coaches like Seawalk, who I love, who tended to go off track.
Just ask one question.
Bring them back in. And so, and actually interviewing high school students as well, you have to try to learn to pull things out of them. So I've honed my skill in that area over the years, and I feel like if there's a tough question, I'm not afraid to bring it up. Although I don't like the initial meeting, hello, how you doing? Now, why are you bringing these coaches in?
Right.
You got to kind of tread lightly early on. So I did ask him a few questions about his staff in particular, about recruiting as well.
And that's what we'll have coming up on the show, kind of as our feature today, besides some high school highlights, Georgia Southern basketball from Thursday night. But, and as the coaches got announced, and of course it had been leaked out over the previous week who was coming and this, and then they decided to announce it finally on
Twitter
Wednesday afternoon, every 15
one by
minutes. One? Yeah, they announced them all. So we knew Chad Lunsford was staying.
By the way, Twitter at the Josh Aubrey. Feel free to follow. Somebody in this room said it's time for you to become a presence on Twitter, so I've tried to start doing that.
All right, now I got to poke you to
Josh Aubrey.
You're gonna have to tell everybody, here's where I'm eating lunch today. Or here's where
I don't have to do that.
I'm on the 12th hole, and
I will say here's our link to Upon Further Review.
That's right.
Here's my link to the highlights of this game or that game.
Check with the StatesboroHerald.com.
There you go.
Go get all the stuff. But just have a little, as you're going out and doing stuff. Then I'm going to get you next after that. You'll be on Periscope.
No.
And you'll be doing all that live stuff too. Meanwhile, Coach Summers does answer all the questions, and a lot of people, will have opinions on who the staff wound up becoming. My feeling is they are here. It's his first staff. They're put together. He's going to address in the interview, I think, most of the questions. The big one still about the offense, with co-offensive coordinators coming in here. One who had been here before in Rance Gillespie, and certainly with the Coach Dean from Valdosta State, who we would see annually up in Macon when we go to the coaches thing, and it would always be a casual, hey, how you doing over there? We never interviewed him because we didn't have to play Valdosta State.
And we'd also talk to his media
Sean
relations.
Reed was there, yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, meanwhile, the people from Valdosta not happy with Georgia Southern stealing all their people. Meanwhile, besides the championship game on Monday night, over the weekend, there is that other championship game, which we used to follow.
That's right, and somebody's going for a record there.
5 straight. North Dakota State, Jack State, Frisco, Texas, high noon is kickoff. It's 11 a.m. out there. A lot of people think this has really been buried. That game has kind of fallen on some strange Fridays, Saturdays.
I kind of liked it where it was before, back when we were playing in them. Seems like that was a good time right before the real bowls started getting going, and I think it gets lost in the shuffle at this point.
Well, the problem, once you added the extra week, they didn't want to have it Christmas week.
Right.
So obviously it got pushed ahead. But the people in Frisco, thanks to North Dakota State, they have filled the place up. So
Once
I
again.
give them credit for that. And North Dakota State's quarterback, though, is hurt. So that's the big question. Will he be able to play in the game? Jack State has had a great year. But boy, the Bison.
And we heard his name as a rumor to possibly come here.
Coach Glass?
Yes, Coach Glass.
So that's how that works out.
I'm going to be watching to see his interviews during the game.
And meanwhile, the NFL will start with a wild card weekend. And very strange that all the visiting teams are favorites going into the weekend.
Well, I think that Green Bay's a pick-em, isn't it?
They've had Green Bay now,
I think it started at Washington as a 2-point favorite.
Now the Green Bay went to 1. But anyway, so.
It is kind of a weird situation.
And it's going to be cold in Minnesota outside. So you always like to see one of those games when you're inside. A quick reminder, when you need legal advice in the Statesboro, Bulloch County area, we have the man for you to call on. Lovett Bennett Jr., attorney at law PC. Lovett's office located in downtown Statesboro. Back with the interview with the new head coach of the Georgia Southern Eagles, Tyson Summers. That's next on Upon Further Review.
It's 2015 model sell-off at Franklin Toyota. Now is your best time to buy because every 2015 model must be sold.
At Franklin Toyota, save up to $6,000 off new Camrys or get 0 APR for 72 months.
Find it today at Franklin Toyota in Statesboro.
Dr. Sergio Dalsenia of Family Internal Medicine reminds you that Kathy Shriver, who specializes in diabetes education and consultations, is now exclusive to Family Internal Medicine. Call for an appointment. Their office located in the Cotton Ridge Plaza on Fair Road.
It's 2015 model sell-off at Franklin Toyota. Now is your best time to buy because every 2015 model must be sold.
At Franklin Toyota, save up to $5,000 off the new Prius or get 0 APR for 72 months.
Find it today at Franklin Toyota in Statesboro.
Well, Josh, you were kind enough to get up there bright and early on the morning, on Thursday morning, and get a chance to visit with Coach Summers.
You got it. Finally had a chance to meet the guy, and here's what he had to say about the assistant coaching staff and a little bit about recruiting as well. But Coach, I know it's been quite a whirlwind for you right now. Putting your staff together, how much of that was fun? How much of it was stressful?
It was, I think it was both. I got an opportunity to talk a lot of football with a lot of good coaches, and tried to be very diligent, detailed through the process of putting together our staff. Really was looking for guys, what I've talked about in the past, which is trying to find the best people we could find, the best teachers and the best position coaches, and trying to find all those things and then still be able to find the guys that fit our recruiting areas the best. We certainly wanted to have recruiters. We wanted to find guys that had won championships. We wanted to have guys that had been able to be at the college level, and we certainly felt good and comfortable about finding some of the best high school coaches in the state as well, and trying to find the best recruiters we could because we felt like that was the lifeblood of our program.
Are you worried at all about the recruits and keeping the ones that they had and maybe even bringing in some new guys?
Sure. Well, I think anytime there's transition, that does bring a level of anxiety to everybody, and you've got parents with questions, and it is kind of an odd time as far as the calendar falls these days. You know, I did our press conference on December 26th, and you don't get a chance to talk to those guys and meet them face to face. So at the very earliest, January 14th. So it does take a lot of time. You're limited with your phone calls. You get one a week, and that's it. And so between trying to make sure that we're building our relationships with the recruiting base and with the parents, and making sure that Georgia Southern is the right fit for them, and making sure that they're the right fit for us as well.
Was it tough at all to deal with limitations that come with financially, who you can bring and who you might want that maybe you can't afford and things like that?
No, I think at the end of the day, you're trying to find the right fit for here, you know, and Georgia Southern's tradition and their history talks about finding the best people and the best fit, and I certainly think we've done that.
Was it important at all to bring people back that know Statesboro and know this area and maybe know Georgia Southern? I
think so, but again, I think at the end of the day, you're looking for the best teachers, you're looking for the guys that have been in leadership positions, and guys that have won championships. That's what they've done here at Georgia Southern. That's what our history, that's what our pride is based on. We wanted to find guys that had that in their background and had that in their past.
Having been a defensive coordinator yourself, how important was that position, and how hard was that choice?
It wasn't a hard one, to be honest with you. Zoe was a guy that I've spent the better part of the last decade with. This will be our third school together that we've been at. And I think anytime you're talking about two guys that have, whether I was a coordinator, whether we were both position coaches, are really on the same page. And a guy that knows how I want our room run, knows how our meetings need to be run, and knows our defense inside and out. I certainly think that it allows me to be able to bounce and be a truer head coach than a micromanaging defensive coach in that room.
As far as the offense goes, you know Statesboro, you know what people wanted to know.
We're going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball. Nothing's changed in that.
Okay.
What I've talked about the entire time of trying to keep as much continuity as possible through the transition from a verbiage standpoint, a communication standpoint, all those things are going to stay the same. We are going to do what I've talked about, which is make a few minor adjustments here and there. We certainly want to have the ability to throw the ball. And that's kind of where we're at with it. Again, we tried to go find the guys, Rance Gillespie and David Dean, that have been in leadership positions, that have won championships, and that we felt like we're the two best position coaches that we could hire. We certainly feel like the development of each position, in particular the quarterback position, in particular the receiver position, were guys that we felt like the best hire needed to be. And those two guys obviously have a ton of ties to the state of Georgia and will do a fantastic job for us in recruiting.
The offenses that each one have been running at Valdosta State and at Valdosta High School, are they similar?
Sure. I think what happens to you is everybody says, well, they've been this, they've been an air raid, and what all that means out of kind of that tree, that started with Coach Mummy, went to Coach Leach, and has trickled down. But that's really not what either one of those guys have been for the last couple of years. I think even when you look back at Coach Dean and his national championship teams, where they were really a running the ball team, 20 personnel, and I think the biggest example that you can have with Coach Gillespie is what he was able to do with Jason Foster. A guy comes here, wins the Walter Payton Award, the run game stays the same, and able to win a lot of games and continue to lead the country in rushing. And that's really the best example that I can give you for what we're trying to do. Obviously, everybody says, well, this guy's the play caller, that guy's the play caller, they're co-offensive coordinators. But at the end of the day, this is Georgia Southern's offense, and this is my offense, and that's how we're going to keep it.
Who will call plays?
We'll determine that at a later time.
Noticed at Valdosta State, they were almost 50-50 run pass, 27 touchdowns rushing, 28 touchdowns passing. Is that what you hope to get this offense into, or is it more what personnel you got?
No, I think that you're always going to try to do your best job of making sure that you're giving yourself the best chance to win. The personnel certainly dictates that, and what you can do and what you can do well is what dictates that. I feel like what we've been doing here is going to give us the best chance to win in the immediate future, and that's why we're going to stay with as much consistency as we can with those pictures. But we've got to be able to have answers. We're still going to be a run team and a run team first on offense. We're still going to be in the gun, and we're going to be able to run the option out of it. But we certainly want to be able to have answers when people are loading the box on us, when we're having a hard time getting our run game going. There are going to be times throughout the year, whether you like it or not, that the defense may not be perfect coming out the gate. We certainly want to be able to win in 2-minute situations at the end of each half and at the end of each game. And to do that, we've got to be able to throw the ball with some efficiency.
All right, high school highlights. That's next on Upon Further Review.
Do you ever wonder what that 15% savings cost you in service?
What's the name on the account?
My name is Mary, M-A-R-Y.
Who is this?
Mary.
Oh,
My
okay.
name is Mary.
Right.
Are you even listening to me?
Sure.
At Glenn Davis Insurance, we get to know you as a person. To us, you're not just another number. Together with Auto Owners Insurance, we can develop an insurance plan tailored to your specific needs. Glenn Davis and Associates. Call or come by today.
The Medical Center Pharmacy on Grenade Street is proud to be your Health Mart pharmacy in Statesboro. The Medical Center Pharmacy, locally owned and serving this community for 50 years, is open 364 days a year. The pharmacists at Medical Center know there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. That's why they take the time to know their customers, explain their medications, and answer any questions. The Medical Center Pharmacy, your Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, caring for you and about you. And it's time now for our high school segment. It's presented by Ogeechee Technical College, where the new semester begins on the 11th. Still time for you to register. We'll take a look at some of the high school action from Tuesday of this week after we see this from OTC.
I'm Brian Reliza.
My name is Michaela Graham.
And I'm an echocardiography graduate.
I'm studying to be a veterinary technician.
And I am OTC.
And I am OTC.
We believe every path is different and every student is unique. Whether you're interested in dual enrollment, an associate degree, or earning credit toward a higher degree, a diploma, or certificate, Ogeechee Tech can help you build a strong foundation for your future. Visit ogeecheetech.edu to find out how you can go anywhere from here.
Josh, busy week for our high school teams. You caught up with some of them.
That's right. We had a chance to head over to Portal and to Bulloch Academy. Here are some of the highlights. Portal hosting Jenkins County in the first of two Tuesday night. Ladies first, and a nice drive for Portal by Aaliyah Wiggins for the layup. Later off the steal, Brianna Raymond goes coast to coast for the bucket. The Eagles answer on the break. Christiana Drayton able to finish. With the Lady Panthers right back off the steal. The Panthers able to feed Raymond for two more of her game-high 24 points. And finally, off the nice inbounds, Wiggins able to get two more, and Portal goes on for the victory, 44-42. To the boys' game we go, and Portal hot early on as Jacob Hilo will hit the jump shot. Next up, check out the acrobatic moves to the bucket by Darius Huff. He'd have a team-high 17. Next, off the miss, B.J. Prescott coming up with the rebound and the putback. Jenkins County keeping it close. Andrew Ellis will bury the three-pointer, left alone. More from Ellis. He's red hot in the game and would finish with a game-high 25 points. Portal answers as Huff drives and spots Ronald Williams for two. More from Williams, one of four players in double figures for Portal as he'd finish with 10 points. The Eagles right back again from long range, this time Travis Bonner for three. But the Panthers with the answer. Jacob Hilo, three more of his 14 in the game. Next, Malik Williams just inside the three. He'd have double figures as well. And finally, Prescott inside for two more. Portal wins 71-70. Bulloch Academy hosting their first ever international basketball game as they welcome the girls and boys of the Camden Valley Wildfire from New South Wales, Australia to Statesboro. Ladies first, Amber Robbins to Lacey Robbins, who rips the three-pointer. On the other end, the Aussies able to keep it close for most of the first half. But the Gators pull away. Off the steal, Robbins ahead of the pack for two more of her 13 points in the game. Next, Robbins drives and dishes to Sarah Evans for two of her 13 in the game. Later, more nice ball movement inside to Evans. The Gators take a 12-point lead. Abby Newton extending the lead as she buries the three-pointer. McKay Sands getting in on the fun. Inside for two of her 13. More nice ball movement, and Robbins to Maddie Wynn Hendricks to Reagan Ellis for the easy two. Hendricks later looking down court and finding a wide open Corey Jacobs for the bucket. And finally, back inside we go to McKay Sands for two more as the Gators roll 62-41. To the boys' game we go, and the Gators cruising here in the second half as Brian Harrison runs down the loose ball and puts in two of his 11 points in the game. Later, the nice look to Chad Lanier for two. A big game for Hunter Perry. Here scoring two of his team-high 15. The Aussies try to come back. From behind the arc, Miguel Campos. But the Gators in command, Lanier Olive to Perry for two more. Next, Brett Thomas will miss, but cleans up nicely with the putback. Perry and Thomas later working the ball back and forth, and Perry finishing with the hoop and the foul. And finally, it's Tyler Budget from the corner for three as BA wins handedly, 74-50.
Georgia Southern basketball from earlier in the week. That's next on Upon Further Review. Tired of being tired? Do you start and end the day completely worn out? You may have obstructive sleep apnea. Dr. Lippincott at the Sleep Apnea Center in Statesboro can give you an evaluation and explain the new non-invasive procedure that has helped so many in our area. Call for an appointment or be on the lookout for one of our free seminars. The Sleep Apnea Center in Statesboro, part of Statesboro ENT, 120 South Zetterauer Avenue.
The Clubhouse in Statesboro, Southeast Georgia's best place to play. The Clubhouse in Statesboro, where fun is done.
Well, Josh, the basketball Eagles, both teams in action. With this, of course, you play the doubleheaders in the conference. South Alabama was up first. Coming up on the weekend, it'll be Troy. Ladies played well, guys didn't. How's
Basically, that's as nice as you can say,
That's
Nate.
it.
Let's get out and see some highlights from both of the games. Coach Kip Drown leading his Lady Eagles into battle, the first of two at Hanner Fieldhouse as they host South Alabama. We moved to second half action. The Eagles down by 3, but Angel McGowan leading a comeback first, 1-3, then another. The Eagles up by 3. The Jags answer with a 3 from Colby Davis in the corner, tying things up. But Angel right back. 2 more of her game-high 26 points. Later, Trell English-Lurie drives, stops, and pops. Nice bounce there. Patrice Butler later knocks down the jump shot right here. She finished with 13 points and 8 rebounds. More from McGowan, another 3. The Eagles with 9 from behind the arc on the night, including this one from Alexis Sams. Eagles by 8, and finally it's Butler somehow managing to get this one to fall. She even has to crack a smile about it. The Eagles win 57-43. To the guys' game we go. Georgia Southern looking for their first conference win of the year. Early on off the miss, the big man Monte Glenn showing the nice moves. Trouble was there were plenty of misses unaccounted for. The Eagles shooting only 26% from the field, 11% from three-point range in the game. The Jags go on an 8-point run right here. The dunk finishing things up. The Eagles with only 8 total field goals in the first half. Here's a few. Tukey Brown, 2 of his 17. Ike Smith drives and hits the floater. More from Smith. The hoop and the foul. He'd finish with 20 points. Mike Hughes later driving in for 2 of his 9 points in the game, cutting the lead to 4. Jake Alsmiller with a rare non-3-point shot. This cuts the lead to 2. But the Jags then go on an 11-2 run to end the first half. Kevin Williams with a couple of threes. He'd finish with a game-high 22, and the Eagles fall 64-58.
Back with some final thoughts in just a moment.
It's 2015 model sell-off at Franklin Toyota. Now is your best time to buy because every 2015 model must be sold.
At Franklin Toyota, save up to $6,000 off new Camrys or get 0 APR for 72 months.
Find it today at Franklin Toyota in Statesboro.
We know how important your family is to you, which is why family medicine is so important to us. At TRICARE Family Medicine, we'll see that your family is in the best possible health. We offer a fun and friendly environment and are now accepting new pediatric and adult patients. Come experience the difference today. Let our family take care of your family at TRICARE Family Medicine, the official family practice of Georgia Southern Athletics.
It's 2015 model sell-off at Franklin Toyota. Now is your best time to buy because every 2015 model must be sold.
At Franklin Toyota, save up to $5,000 off the new Prius or get 0 APR for 72 months.
Find it today at Franklin Toyota in Statesboro.
All right, we talked about it earlier in the week. Alabama, Clemson. Alabama, I guess 7.5-point favorite. Who you got?
I got Alabama. I mean, the SEC has proven themselves in the bowls. 8-2. They've won by 26 points on average. Alabama looks so good right now, and I'm just kind of waiting for that slipper to fall off of Dabo Swinney. I mean, they seem like every year they have a game where they fall apart. They've held it together. They looked really good. I expect a good game, but I think Alabama's going to win by 10 or 12.
All right.
You?
I think it's going to be a closer game than that. I think Clemson will keep it close. The key is going to be if Alabama doesn't turn the ball over, they have just been unstoppable lately.
Henry doesn't fumble.
No, I'm saying, but when they did lose the one time they lost this year, it's when they had all the turnovers.
Yep.
And several of those were tipped
They've really
interceptions.
turned it around since the Ole Miss
We understand that. Their defense looks awesome. I think it's going to be a heck of a game.
So you think Alabama wins, but Clemson covers?
Yeah, it's one of those. I think if they play, someone said to me, if they played 10 times, Alabama would probably win 9. So for Clemson,
will it be the one
for Clemson people, that's what they're hoping for.
There you go.
Let's all enjoy the game. We will come back and talk about it after the game when we see you next time on Upon Further Review.
Join us again next time for Upon Further Review, brought to you in part by Ogeechee Technical College, Education with Purpose, and by Dr. Lincoln Lippincott with the Sleep Apnea Center in Statesboro.